Greetings, initiates. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different than what I normally do. And what I'm going to do is share a conversation with someone, and I've blocked out their name so there's no privacy issues. But I really want to hone in on the difference between what I do and what anybody else does, and some of possibly the most powerful stuff out there apart from what I do. I'm Jedediah Thomas, the Mind Master, and this video is going to be about the dangers of thinking that you're healed when you're actually not. Okay, so basically, this is in reference to a specific modality, and the modality is called NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming, and it was developed by like Richard Bantler and maybe a couple other people, and it has taken kind of the world by storm, by force, in a lot of different levels. Like you'll see it in sales, you'll see it in persuasion, negotiation, you'll see it in a lot of different places. And one of the things that it supposedly does is it fixes your problems, aka heals you. Now, that is kind of the background, but let's actually see whether NLP heals you or not. So let me start sharing this conversation here, and we'll discover together whether you think that this modality is actually effective for healing your wounds. All right. So I made this more or less innocuous post here, and basically this was about a month and a half ago. It was kind of around the time where I stopped making videos, but just put it out there. Like, I didn't attack anyone. Just say, hey, seeing a lot of people pushing NLP. Why don't you all try something that actually works, right? Just kind of neutral, maybe kind of razzing them a little bit, but nothing violent or abusive or attacking, right? Now, here's the response. Now, this response came from a very wealthy, prolific guru, probably nobody you've heard of, but famous in their own circle kind of thing, and probably a multimillionaire, travels the world, has a lot of, say, material success under their belt. Now, here's what they say. I have 21 certifications in psychological modalities. None of them have been more impactful for my personal development journey than NLP. Okay, great. Good for you, right? I've gone from homeless heroin addict to multimillionaire. Okay, awesome. Glad to hear it, right? And now he says he's overcome all this trauma and all this stuff. And all of this is thanks to NLP, right? So what he's saying is that NLP cures ADHD, it cures schizophrenia. All of these people are using it. You've probably heard of Tony Robbins. You've definitely heard of Donald Trump and Barack Obama. But the point is that he's using these people as a reference point for what NLP does. That's totally fair, right? There's a lot of, successful people out there. And then he follows all of this up, decent argument, with a personal insult. Now, let me ask you a question. If you have 21 certifications in psychological modalities, if you've healed all of this trauma that you've healed, if you use a modality that claims to have helped some of these rich and famous and powerful figures, why would you feel the need to attack somebody personally? Let me let you sit with that for a second. If you're healed, why would you feel the need to tear somebody else down? I can't answer that. I believe that tearing other people down comes from your own damage, basically. So what he's doing is showing his own wound. So basically, I just point that out. Okay, regardless of what argument you had, which was maybe a solid argument, but you chose to insult me personally, right? It doesn't matter what it's on. He says I have a double chin. Doesn't really matter. I don't think I do, but regardless, what does that have to do with the conversation, right? So I just pointed out. So here's what he follows with. Another extremely long post about how now I'm insulted and triggered, and all of these people are millionaires and all of this stuff, and I attack people and drag them down just because I said that one post about NLP. Literally, like that's what I said, and this is off of that post, right? And so he says my life is insignificant. He says I should become a better human being. He says all of this stuff, and you can see how broken this guy is. Like this is exactly the danger that I'm talking about. Now, he believes he's healed, and yet he's still acting like a toddler throwing a temper tantrum, right? Like he's so broken and so triggered by my post that he writes all of this stuff, right? And I just simply pointed out, like, look, you're the one who's triggered here, right? Very, very obviously sees it, right? So then I started a new thread, and this is like there was like 35 comments on this post. So it's like I'm not going to share all of them with you. I just want to give you some examples of it, just so you can see the difference between how someone who's healed communicates, such as myself, and someone who's broken communicates, even though that person has advanced psychological certifications, even though they use NLP, even though they think that they're fixed, they're actually not, right? So now he says, I'm broken, at least fix my own stuff. And I'm like, dude, you're on my profile, right? Like I'm not on your profile. I'm not attacking you. You came here to attack and insult me, right? And then he says, I'm consumed by fear, right? So this is the following that comment. All right. And I'm just like, what are you talking about, dude? Like I'm not calling you names. I'm not doing any of these things. And I'm just pointing out that he's attacking people. And he just keeps going and going and going and going and going about how great NLP is and how it's healed and helped so many people. But you can see very clearly what actually people who study and have used NLP, this is what it does to you. Now, I'm not saying NLP caused this behavior, right? He was probably this way before he got fixed with, quote unquote, fixed with NLP. But my point here is that NLP did nothing to actually heal them, right? And this is the danger of thinking that you're healed when you're not, right? And there's a couple other modalities out there that I kind of put into kind of like a danger zone. And what that danger zone is it reduces the emotions that you feel around your trauma or around your brokenness and gets you moving mechanically, like actually taking action, but it doesn't actually heal you, right? So what happens is it actually creates a personality disorder. And a personality disorder in the sense where you think you're fine and you think you're healed and you're just as damaged as you always have been, and now you're just doing more stuff, right? And then you're equating the more stuff that you're doing or the more money that you're making with your healing, and that's actually not the case, right? So prior to this conversation, I had placed NLP as one of the more powerful modalities, right? Tony Robbins has theoretically helped a lot of people, but in light of this conversation, I have to say, if he has quote unquote used NLP to that degree, plus all of these other certifications, and he's still that broken, then not only does NLP not fix you, like I had previously thought, but it is in one of those modalities where it's in the danger zone, meaning that NLP makes you think that you're fixed and you are not at all. Like it doesn't change anything. So what that means is now I'm officially registering NLP as a modality that creates a personality disorder, right? Like if you want to treat people like that and you want to think that you're all high and mighty, okay, that's totally fine. You probably already have a personality disorder. You'll be right at home with NLP. But if you're actually trying to heal, you're actually trying to undo the wounds and the trauma and all of the pain that's been in your life, covering it over and tricking yourself with NLP is not actually going to fix you. Right? There's nobody else on the planet who actually fixes you, and I do, because I actually go in there and I fix the real problem, and then you're actually healed and you change your behavior, you change how you see the world, you actually do heal, in a way that is not possible anywhere else, right? Like NLP was the closest that anybody came to what I do, but it was still 1,000 miles away from what I do, right? Like it wasn't even a comparison. But like with this insight, I believe that NLP is actually a dangerous tool to use and will actually set you back in your healing journey because you'll think that you're healed and you're not. And that's the most dangerous person on the planet, is someone who thinks that there's nothing wrong with them and there's everything wrong with them. So to keep this video from going too long, I'll kind of cut it off here. I'd love to hear your comments. Um, let's have a discussion. I will literally go toe to toe with any person, with any modality on the planet, from NLP to hypnosis to CBT to anything, and I can out heal any person on this planet better than you can. Guaranteed, 100%. Nobody can do what I can do. And when the world gets wind of that, Tony Robbins is going to be a small fish in my big pond. I guarantee that. So, once again, I am Jedediah Thomas, the Mind Master. If you need to, pause the video and read those comments, you can. If you're interested in seeing the whole how it played out on the thread, I don't want to, like throw their identity out there and get them a lot of bad press, regardless of how deserved it is or not, because I'm about healing people and not tearing them down. But that post is still public. It's out there. If you want to search for it on my profile, you can see the entire conversation. But that is the stark difference between actually being healed and thinking that you're healed when you're not. So thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more content. Have a good one. Bye.